Governor Rotimi Amaechi. Well, I've got a comment from Adea who says, well, yeah, he sees that the government of Rivers State is really responding swiftly. But Mohammed here says he thinks that tougher, stringent measures should be implemented against diplomats who he thinks are bent on spreading it here. Yesterday, at that seminar, he talked about the health sector, the capacity of the health sector in the state, and every state also wants to improve on that. What can you tell us about that? Was it a coincidence that you're talking about health, or it was always there from the onset?
It's been always there. But I don't bring politics into this because
I
want to say
to improve the health sector.
I want to say that the APC states are states that are prepared in terms of what to do when it comes to health. When initially I read on the internet that a release somebody made, I guess it must be from Abuja, urgent, and insinuated that we don't have the medical facilities to handle Ebola. I wondered, you will have 140 to 50 health centers. So all we did was choose one, remodel it into an Ebola, not Ebola positive, but a health center that can manage Ebola patients. The doctors that are treating these Ebola patients are living inside the health center, which means before even Ebola, we had quarters for medical workers in every health center. And they're not in Port Harcourt alone. We have about 10 to 20 of them in Port Harcourt. The rest are in the rural areas.
Preparatory for an outbreak?
No. I'm talking about we're talking about
the
quality of the medical facilities you have in Rivers State. So we are quite prepared for anything, whether it was Ebola, whether it was HIV. We like I told you, we had just 200 doctors when I took over office as governor. We have 600 now. We didn't have pharmacists and nurses we've employed. We made it automatic that workers must. That once you get into the nursing school, we start paying you salary. So we're prepared. Ebola outbreak is something that nobody will pray for. Nobody. As governor of Rivers State, from the day Ebola broke, I tried to remain in the state to reassure people. I encourage people not to shake hands. So I've joined the Rakadede kind of greeting in Port Harcourt. And you see me these days in public functions for people to lead their normal life, because it's our responsibility. We are paid salaries to take care of the situation. If I'm not able to take care of the situation, then I have no need to claim the salary for the month. That's the point. And I've told the cabinet the same. Everybody must be prepared to take charge. And you can see the Commissioner for Health is right there. Every day he has a press briefing to reassure the state and bit by bit of what is going on at that time. So.
What about in terms of, because while it broke, there was that confusion into how do we handle it? What about in terms of investing in research, getting a cure?
Well,
are you encouraging people in the States to...
That's a different thing. That is the thing you can't deal with now. What you to deal
with now. Are you encouraging people to
let's control the situation. Let's make sure people don't die of Ebola. Then you can begin to say, okay, if we can contribute to research to finding cure to the virus of Ebola. We are prepared. We are even prepared for the vaccine if we do that. But first, we must control the situation. If we see, if there's any vaccine that has tested positive in terms of managing Ebola, the Rivers government is ready to invest in it. Because the lives of our people, for me, are more important than any other thing I need to do. If the people are not there, you can't govern. You can't even deal with education, because who would you educate?
So you're saying that you were already prepared, but the question that Chamberlain asked is very important, because a lot of people don't want to believe that it was sheer coincidence that Ebola happened, and your governor's forum was talking about health in its third governance series. Was it coincidence? Was it?
It was coincidence. These things are prepared. These things are planned in advance. 3 months notice. No. What do they call it? No lecture takes place in weeks. Mm-hmm. In advance. How do you get the lecturers? So you just tell them 1 week, gentlemen, please come and discuss health. No. It was the last lecture series took place in Kano. And at Kano, Imo was told you will host the next one, just like they have selected the next host state and the topics. So you have to prepare. And the essence of that was to show the difference between PDP and APC. And I've told you, let's not go into the politics of... I don't want anybody to politicize Ebola, because for me, let us finish Ebola. Then we can begin to talk about PDP and APC. But the essence of that lecture series was just to say to the world, see PDP, see APC, make your choice. But let's not delve into it. I don't want anybody to bring in politics in this Ebola thing. People are using it they are beginning to politicize Ebola. The moment we begin to politicize it, then we lose focus. Then you have an epidemic.
Well, we have Akin who here says, I was scared of the spread in PH just because of the relaxed mood of the Commissioner of Health during briefing, but I'm okay now with the governor's briefing. But you have another who says they are calling those numbers. Sometimes people don't pick them or it doesn't go through. So how can they improve on that?
It's a national number. It's not a River State number. It is not. You know the way the thing works. I think the telephones are here in Lagos. So even if it breaks now in Sokoto, that's the number you will call. Then Lagos will get the Lagos State government. That's when I say Lagos, the national center. It's called the emergency something here in Lagos. Then they will get whichever Sokoto or whichever state that it breaks to now take action.
But shouldn't the states have one or two numbers, to put out in the state just in case to make it faster?
Why? We're having too many telephone lines that are of no use when the national one is working. The national one is working. There's never been. I'm hearing for the first time there's been somebody who's called and not had access. I've always heard that XYZ were looking for called himself and came by himself.
So, well, what about the hospitals? Initially, at least from what we heard and saw in Lagos, a lot of hospitals that are turning back patients. If you have a fever, you were not. People generally would not take you into their hospital. There was just that fear around, and they had to do like maybe another enlightenment process across the hospitals. This is something that your state government is also looking at.
No, that's Lagos suffered that because that was Lagos was the first state to have that breakout of Ebola. Don't forget that we had our own teaching section. There was a workshop organized by some Americans who came from America to do that in university. If you have, they test your body temperature. If your body temperature is above 38 to 40, then it must be more than Ebola. It must be more than malaria. So I think what the mistake they would have made was at initial time, and that's what Lagos suffered because they were the first state. They must have suffered quite a lot of these things. And from them, we are learning a lot on how to do that. So they are not turning back patients. It's just at the entrance to the hospital, somebody will check your body temperature.
That's what all hospitals are doing across the board now in Rivers.
Yes.
Your temperature must be checked,
of course,
as a patient coming into the hospital.
Yes. Even me, to get into my house, they check me too. To get into the APC this thing yesterday, they were checking everybody. So that reduces that fear and panic. So not to see somebody shivering with cold, but you say, oh, you have Ebola. Then all of us run away from the country. We've put measures in place that enables you to check whether the person qualifies to be taken to the doctors who manage Ebola, or you can come into your hospital.
Okay, but are there more people who, for instance, maybe they attended the naming ceremony, who you are encouraging to come
Everybody's in.
Everyone who you think should are all on that.
They are volunteering on their own. Everybody's in. Because what is about education. If we've told you here, the fact that you have made contact with him does not necessarily mean you'll be positive. Look at the doctor who treated him. He's negative.
Okay.
Schools are on holidays. Compulsorily, everybody has to be at home till October the 13th. And we've been asked, teachers have been asked to come around for training. Are you taking on any special measure, any extra measure, aside what has been done at the federal level in Rivers State?
Why do you want to go into the politics of Ebola? I've been avoiding that politics of Ebola.
It's not the politics.
The reason why I say that is you will make me put up an argument. Have we banned markets? It's worse in the market than in schools. Don't you think so? So don't let us go into the politics of Ebola. Can we just focus on the technicalities of Ebola? When we finish that and Ebola is under control, then we can go into the politics of Ebola. For now, I think that what the federal government is doing is the children could be careless and all that. They're trying to control the spread of Ebola. Whatever is done, whether it's a mistake in your own listen or not, can we just support everybody? Support the federal government, support Lagos State government, support Rivers State government, support every state government in the country so that we don't allow this spread.
Okay,
take everybody into the loop and control it.
Well, that's the message, actually. But just before we wrap up, we have to take a comment or two from those who are watching. Oriva says, Dear Governor, we appreciate your response to the Ebola pandemic. Please, what are you doing to fix the Eleme Onia Road?
That's the federal road.
Okay.
On
guess
Eleme,
he didn't
on
know.
a road. That's the federal road. I don't know which one he's talking about. That's the one that goes into the village. But again, we're dealing with Ebola. Can we focus? I didn't come here to discuss.
No, I mean, we've at least you've been able to. We've spoken copiously about Ebola.
If you want me an interview
what has
on,
happened.
if you want me an interview on what I have done, then call me back.
No, but
Now,
we can't return what people like to know.
Thank him for
That's
me.
part of connecting.
Thank him
with
for
their
me.
governor.
Tell
He's
him
watching
that,
you.
Yeah, tell him we've done quite a lot in his own community.
Joshua says, I'd like to commend the River State government on tackling the Ebola virus outbreak in River State, but the state should have its own lines to call.
It's not, if the national lines were not working, then we can. Why do you duplicate? They are working.
Okay. All right, so we have to let it go here. The questions are almost saying the same thing. Okay, well done, but they want the commissioner to step up.
The commissioner
They
is not
also
commissioner for
talking
information. Our commissioner for information is
No,
is-
the health.
I know. I think his job is to treat. His job is not to come and announce to people. That's why our commissioner for information is on vacation, and she will soon be back. Once she comes back, she takes over her job. I'm currently doing her job for now. So once she comes back, my face will take a back.
Is there any word on this ZMAP so far?
You can't say much. I'm not a professional. I'm not a technical man in that regard. I can't say whether it cures or not. But if any day I hear that any drug actually cures Ebola, I will buy them.
Okay, we have to thank you for coming on this morning. We've been speaking with His Excellency Governor Rotimi Amaechi, Governor of Rivers State, on what the state is doing to tackle Ebola. Thank you for coming on this morning.
You're welcome.
We'll be back in just a moment. Please join us again.